Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to talk about Impact Wrestling. It is your mid-week struggle! As in, struggle to watch Impact Wrestling. For most of us, anyway. Not for this man, Tonio Garza. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing good, and it's true. I'm the guy who likes Impact, so you guys bring it.
I just saw your lower third. That's amazing.
Yeah, I know. I still like to joke about it.
And with us is the voice of Inspire Pro Wrestling, Eamon Paton. How are you, sir?
Not the voice of Impact Wrestling. I'm very proud of that.
I wish you were the voice of Impact Wrestling.
I ain't.
Because you would get the hashtag right for their
I ain't
main
sitting
event.
in that box with the Pope and Josh Matthews. I'll have a lot to say about them on this episode.
Won't we all? Won't we all? All right.
Those two are kind of like a thing we already gave up a long time ago. But
they gave up as well. Trust me.
I feel like Josh is already. I feel like Josh feels like he's already been married for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of has that voice to him. Anyway, I am Mad Mike. I don't think I introduced myself, but I'm Mad Mike, the maddest of mics, if you will. And yeah, we're here to talk about Impact, perhaps for the second to last time. We don't know. We don't know what's gonna happen. All right. So you guys know how we do this. Garza. Oh, Garza. Give me your one word for Impact this week.
Doomsday.
All right. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Eamon, give me your one word for Impact this week.
No. No.
Oh God. Okay. My one word for Impact this week is going to be really. Really. No, actually, my one word is going to be timing. Because TNA does not have good timing. Not at all. All right.
They also aren't great with time and what they do with time.
Yeah, no, they're not good. Eamon, as I've said many times, TNA is filmed in a TARDIS. It's all very timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly. Sometimes four guys enter during one segment when there's 2-minute intervals. Anyway.
Also, some of the wrestlers wrestle like they just got out of a TARDIS.
Oh, that's true.
They just got out of a long, hour-long TARDIS trip.
All right. Garza, what was your good thing this week from Impact?
The good thing I'm going to give to Impact is that they actually made the show feel important. The opening segment, the contract signing, the promo of both Dixie and Jarrett, and even Borash, and going up to the final match, it felt like a really important show. It felt like the end of TNA.
Really? It felt like the end because they were promoting their live events for the most of it.
I don't know if it felt important to me.
I felt like they tried to make it important.
Oh, they did really attempt it. But when you have the world champion of your company saying that he doesn't care about what's happening in the main event, granted, there are storyline reasons for that, and I understand that. And Ethan Carter is magical.
He was literally too busy looking up cat videos.
Yes.
Like, that's literally what it was.
That's what he said. He said there were 10 to 12 cat videos he had to watch. And also, he tweeted during the live show, #winner take all, I'm eating ribs. Like he said something like I'm eating chicken wings or I'm eating ribs or something to the effect of that. Like Ethan Carter's levels of fucks to give have been 0 since about February, and it's amazing. All right, Eamon, what is your one good thing this week if you can find one?
My one good thing, and it sounds like a cop-out, but I don't mean it to be, is EC3. EC3 and the whole segment that he was involved in. I really like the whole segment with Jeff Hardy and the whole servant thing. and Rockstar Spud. I thought it was great. I thought it did a great job of telling that story. I wish the story was that Rockstar Spud's like in the main like title shot or whatever at Bound for Glory, but that's probably not what's gonna happen. It's gonna be like a Jeff Hardy redeems himself or whatever thing. But hey, I mean, you know, but the segment was very good and funny, and yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, Ethan Carter has been the bright shining spot at TNA. I mean, we all know this. But I love when Spud came out and said, "I would wear that suit if it didn't have his jackass face on it," which was fantastic. Oh, my good thing from TNA this week. Let's say 9/10 of Lethal Lockdown.
Are you serious?
No.
9/10.
9/10. No. Honestly, I was gonna say Ethan. I was gonna say EC3 was my good thing. Yeah, that's pretty much all I can muster about it, because there was not a lot for me to enjoy on the show. There just wasn't.
There wasn't a lot on this show. Like,
with a Lethal Lockdown match, it takes up like 40 minutes. So.
Yeah, but I guess there was like 3 total matches. Like, am I wrong? There was the cage match, there was the knockouts match, and Abyss against Mahabali Shira.
Yeah.
Like, that was it.
I think that was it.
I don't want to jump ahead to NXT, but I feel like for a company who like they make an hour, they fill an hour with a lot. Mm-hmm. Like Ring of Honor filled an hour with a lot. TNA has 2 hours, and it feels like there was a lot missing.
They did a lot of video packages of the same footage.
And they had 2 long segments.
Yeah.
All right, so this might be a little bit easier for us. Garza, what was your one bad thing about TNA?
There was a terrible control of I guess continuity during the show. It felt like the whole GFW versus TNA like storyline that they told in one episode was supposed to be in 2 episodes, because we have a contract signing, and then out of nowhere this is like GFW has 1 extra guy, and then TNA is supposed to be looking for a guy, but they're not looking for a guy, and like no one knows what's happening. And I think they needed like an extra 2 segments to explain why, if a contract is signed, they're still adding people, and why at some point Galloway still considered Eric Young to be in their team, stuff like that. So that was my bad. Like, they just crammed 2 episodes of storylines into 1.
Are you sure they didn't Bram 2 storylines into 1? Oh, I hate him. Yeah, but it felt really weird, because even Jeremy Borash, who was the announcer, I think, he said that the match doesn't start until all 10 men are in the ring. What if TNA didn't find a fifth guy? Does that mean the match would have never started?
I guess they would have gone. Well, I think they would have given them the 2 minutes or whatever, and then if nobody came out, then they just continue. I don't know.
I guess. It's weird wording. It's weird wording. Like, first of all, for the match to begin after 20 minutes of people coming into the ring and fighting.
Oh, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Eamon, it's your turn. What was your one bad thing from TNA this week?
So this is where I pulled out my notes. My bad was the Lethal Lockdown match. Straight up. That match was terrible. In my opinion. It was. I hated that match. And I'll tell you exactly why. I'm going to breeze through some other stuff, too, I noted on here. The first thing I actually noted was when a part in the show where they cut to Pope and Josh Matthews in the back, where they talk about how Jarrett's such a despicable human being, and Josh Matthews goes, "You know what I think we should do? I think we should take him out of the TNA Hall of Fame. I think we should erase him from the record books." And it was very much in like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge kind of way. And it's like, no. Like, you're comparing this storyline that you're doing to a guy going on a racist tirade and a man possibly killing his girlfriend. No. That left a horrible taste in my mouth. Then I also noted they're plugging a Hall of Fame induction for Bound for Glory weekend when they may not have a company.
Mm-hmm.
No, they have a company. They just doesn't
Well,
have a
it's
show.
storyline. In storyline, they may not have a company. Like,
Yeah, in storyline, Jeff Jarrett would have owned TNA. Like, I don't
and they
see how
wouldn't
they're
have.
able to book
It would
Spud
have been
E3.
it would have been Jeff Jarrett's job to induct him.
But they wouldn't. But he beat up Brohammer like 2 weeks ago. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, so the match happens, and there's 20 minutes or whatever of the first part of the match because it's all just people entering, and it's the most boring stuff. Like, it's just people punching and kicking each other. It's just boring as hell. Nobody's doing
And
moves.
it's not even evenly spaced.
Yeah, it's just boring as hell. And then Bram enters to no fanfare. Not from the crowd, not from the announcers. The whole thing is like, oh, is TNA going to find a fifth guy? And Bram comes out as the fifth guy, and everyone's like, oh, it's Bram. Cool. That's literally how the announcer sounded. Like, okay, cool, we got Bram.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, and I know TNA likes to do, like, their cutaways during matches. If any time you would have done that, that would be the time. Like, you have Dixie running after Bram as he said, like, are you sure? Are you sure? Like, you know, like, thank you, thank you, thank you, something like that. Like, where Dixie's excited for, like, and maybe they shot that and just decided not to use it in light of current events.
Notice Bram's entrance comes out, and there's not a lot of attention paid to Bram during the rest of the thing.
Yeah, thank God he didn't get the final pinfall.
Yeah. I noted on here, once Bram enters, everyone... Okay, this is the part that pissed me off the most. Once Bram enters the ring, everyone is just up and holding each other back, waiting for the roof to lower. Mm-hmm. And there's just like the battle lines have been drawn or whatever, and everyone's just waiting. They're all standing up, not selling, and waiting, and I just have it all caps. What was the last 20 minutes for? Nothing.
Well, Eamon, that the match started when all the people were in the ring. That was just a fight.
That's so infuriating.
It's to injure people. It's to injure people while you can.
But no one was injured.
Everyone no one sold. No one sold.
No, did a good job then, but that's the point.
Everyone stopped selling, and they're like, yeah, we got weapons now. Oh.
And, all right, and there was no guitar. You have Jeff Jarrett in a Lethal Lockdown match. You have a fucking guitar on that roof.
Well, but it's a match that he's supposed to lose.
I don't care. Then he loses via guitar. You have a fucking guitar hanging from that roof.
There's screwiness there. TNA put up those weapons.
Yeah, by the way, did it piss anyone else off that Jarrett didn't take the pin?
Oh, totally.
Not really.
I think they tried to do like this whole thing where Jarrett like was trying to leave or whatever, and that was supposed to be the payoff. I don't know. Then I have a quote from Josh Matthews: "A 10-year saga," and I just wrote, "Go fuck yourself."
First of all, haven't they been around for 13 years?
But the storyline's only been going for a month.
Yeah.
You can't just say, "Oh, it's a 10-year storyline."
And
it's
also, this is minor. This is minor. Josh, like they lie all the time on commentary about things trending. Josh said #winner-take-all is trending worldwide.
No, it's not.
Well, no, it could very well be true. However, if you are watching the screen and you look at the little bug up in the corner, guess what the bug said, you guys? #winner-takes-all. No, like, you can re-record that. You can re-record that. This is not live-to-tape audio. Just some semblance of continuity. Something.
Also,
the bug. Something. Like...
I was going to say, just to finish off my notes real quick, Mordecki does a comedic sell for the super kicks from his partners, and I was just like, oh, come on. Like, he did the sell where, like, you stand up for way too long.
Well, he was trained by Shawn Michaels how to take a super kick. Come on now.
Oh, my God. I also noted that commentary is a second off. When they do the big spot with the trash can and the coast-to-coast thing, Matthew says, "What a shot by the Wolves," before either man hits the trash can.
Eamon, that's because they watched it before. They knew it was coming. They called everything.
And then just at the end, I put another quote. Jeff Jarrett held his shares over Dixie Carter for years, and I just wrote, "What the F are you talking about?"
Okay, so now we have Eamon's notes of doom out of the way.
Sorry, I didn't
No,
like
no,
them.
it's fine. It's fine. I appreciate notes. My bad is Gail Kim once again becoming Knockout's motherfucking champion. Why?
I didn't hate it.
I don't get it.
I don't care, to be honest.
It
I
kind
don't
of
care. No, but I don't care either. That's the thing. Like,
You know what?
Just because the
No, you-
company might be ending and they wanted it on the first ever Knockouts champion? Like,
Well,
Yeah,
you know what?
well, it's kind of that actually. I was gonna
That's-
say 'cause they just announced for Bound for Glory it's Gail Kim versus Awesome Kong, so you may be right.
Oh,
That's
God
gonna be good.
damn it.
That's gonna be good.
Ah.
It would have been good in 2008, when it first happened.
When
Hey.
Kong didn't have horrible back issues.
Yeah.
But I didn't mind it. I liked the little show of respect at the end. I just don't think it made Brooke look really all that great.
And why isn't Brooke getting a rematch?
Maybe she is. I don't know. They haven't
Maybe
taped
next
anything.
week on Impact. Who knows?
Yeah, they haven't taped anything.
Yeah. But the Wolves are 5-time tag team champion. Thanks for that correction, Josh Matthews. You know how fucked the tag team division is when last week they say the Wolves are 4-time tag team champions. I make us think about it and don't even realize that he's fucking wrong.
How long have the Wolves been around, by the way, in TNA?
Not long.
Like
Not
2
long.
years, maybe?
Maybe 2.
Uh,
That's ridiculous. 5 tag title reigns in 2 years.
they're the best tag team we've ever had in TNA.
Yeah, they're the only tag team.
They got 5 reigns. Look at them.
And how many of them came from the other team had to abdicate the titles? Because I'm guessing it was at least 3 times. I'm not even joking. Because I know they had to give them up once. The Hardys had to give them up twice, maybe? Who knows?
Probably.
Yeah, but Gail Kim becoming a 18-time knockout champion, whatever she is. It just doesn't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. None of this matters. Like, where's the beautiful people in the dollhouse?
One of them's pregnant.
Well, yeah, because chairs get you pregnant in TNA. Chairs to the arm get people pregnant. That's how babies work. So for all you parents out there, if your kids are asking where do babies come from, say if you get hit in the arm with a steel chair, you become pregnant.
Here's the thing. I actually thought the match was okay. I thought it was the best Lady Tapa looked ever.
What?
Like honestly,
That's a low bar.
and I mean that honestly. Like she's been terrible before, but she actually looked pretty decent in this match. She looked like she knew what she was doing. And I guess I like it, but it's just like especially with women's wrestling nowadays, the stuff you see other places, it's like you can't keep saying like the knockouts are the best thing.
Even the squash match on NXT I thought was better. All right. So Garza, what would be one thing you'd change about Impact this week?
The thing I'd change is just the execution of Bram's reveal. Like I told you guys, I didn't think, like, to me, Bram was a cool, like, interesting.
Do you think he should clothesline Dixie Carter on his way out to, get his rep up a little bit?
That's horrible. Why would you say that?
Why would Bram do something like that?
I don't know, why would you say that? No, I would just change the execution. I would just have the timer go and no one comes out, and then we have the ceiling go down and TNA gets their ass kicked, and then Bram comes out and like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna fight.
Or how about someone is on top of the ceiling?
No, because then how do they get down?
It's been done before.
And they're little like yeah.
It's been done before. I mean, all right, Eamon, what will be your change this week?
My thing is what we complain about WWE constantly for, and that is just to show your work. Like, the Jarrett Dixie storyline could have been actually good with time and with just more fleshing out. And, like, the video packages pissed me off so much because it was literally just, like, Jarrett and Dixie Carter were co-owners of TNA Wrestling, and then Jeff Jarrett left to go start Global Force Wrestling, which isn't true. And then in the summer of 2015, Jarrett came back. Like, it's not that long ago that he came back. So that's all the part of the story you're telling? Like, you have so much more you can tell.
Yeah, but they can't mention Hulk Hogan.
Why did Jarrett leave? Why did, they took a storyline that could have been about a decade-long, relationship and condensed it to like a month and just talked about the month that they did. Like, why? Like, it's
something that happens a lot. Like, just on Monday, they did the history of Sting, and they did 2 things from his whole career, and then 3 vignettes from his debut. Like, it's something that I've been noticing in several promotions.
It doesn't make sense. It just, you have all of this potential with this storyline, and there's cool aspects to it. Like, I like the aspect of Jarrett Karen convincing Jeff that he wanted his company back because he loved it so much, and that he got outed. Hell, if you're gonna shoot about it, just shoot about it and talk about how Kurt Angle, the stuff with Kurt Angle or whatever, and that's what forced Jarrett out.
Well, no, but see, the thing is, you can't invoke Kurt Angle unless he's coming back, and he clearly isn't coming back.
Well, they can, but they've said he's injured, right?
Yeah, they said he's in, but like, unless you're gonna have him as the 5th guy in that match, you almost can't bring that up because then it's teasing and not paying it off.
But isn't he supposed to wrestle at Bound for Glory?
Yeah, but not against Jeff.
Yeah, not against Jeff. They haven't said who his opponent's gonna be.
But like, you can still at least like touch on why he left. I don't like.
You can say personal reasons.
Kayfabe-wise, he left because Sting fired him.
Yeah. They didn't even touch on that. They didn't even show that segment where Sting fired him.
Well, to be fair, this whole story was built on a guy getting attacked who showed up in WWE. So you don't want to cycle it back to someone else who's in WWE.
But they show footage of Bully Ray getting attacked.
Yeah, it's just a fucked up story. Like, they didn't think it through.
It's like we said last week, Mike. They took a 5-month or like a year-long storyline, and they mashed it into like 2 months.
Yeah.
So if everything's rushed, we have a bunch of continuity errors. We're missing a lot of storyline development, and
I mean, there's even a way to do this in 2 months, but they did not pick the right people for this. Because for a storyline like this, if you're trying to pull it off really quickly, you need motherfuckers that can act. Drew Galloway, he's fine. He's fine. He's okay. He's a good, I guess, unexpected leader, but he's not an actor. He's not a good actor. The Wolves, I still don't know which one is which. They can't.
Well, now you're paying attention.
Well, no. All right, I'm saying that sarcastically. I know who Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards.
Eddie Edwards is the one with the baby face.
They're one's kicky, one's choppy. All right, but still, they can't act for shit. And Lashley has never been a good actor. Donald Trump out-acted Bobby Lashley. That shows you how bad of an actor he is.
Yeah.
Like, my change would just be Team TNA as a whole. Like, you can have Galloway in there, but as I've been saying, this is where you bring in, like, the Suicide Squad of people. Like, you bring in the guys who are fighting for TNA in spite of Dixie Carter, not because of her.
Again, and
it's
also
where you bring in your Bobby Roodes.
Why wasn't Bobby Roode involved with this at all?
Yeah, like, that pissed me off so much because Bobby Roode.
Why wasn't Bobby Roode the 5th guy?
Bobby Roode, exactly. Even if you had Bobby Roode the 5th guy, that would have been perfect. Or if you had, like, Ethan be the 5th guy. Ethan should have been the 5th guy regardless. Ethan should have been that guy who, like, Dixie Carter came up to him and said, "Ethan, honey, I know you're mad at me, but if we don't go out and win this, you're not going to have a company to be champion of." And
That's a good point.
He's like, I guess you got a point, Anthony. And then, you know what? Fuck it. He sends Jeff Hardy out to do it.
Brilliant. Jeff
That's
Hardy's good at these kind of
great.
matches.
Yeah, and even if Jeff isn't 100%, he don't gotta do much. He comes out there, grabs a kendo stick, starts whacking away at people. Galloway hits his back bump into a trash can, and we all go home happy.
Pins Kurt Hawkins, and we're good. My thing is, like, the most disappointing thing about it is, like, you can look at Dixie Carter when she's talking, and, like, you can tell, like, she thinks, like, this is her, like, masterpiece. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like, she feels like this is her, like, big story, because it's touching on this. You can, like, oh, the story is that everyone's left Dixie Carter and nobody believes in her anymore, but there's some people that still stick around and everyone wants her to fail. Or it's like, oh, I wonder what that must be about. Like, your actual company.
I hate to get slightly political on this. Dixie Carter reminds me of George W. Bush in every way possible. like when she's cutting a promo, like the same way when Bush had a speech, like he just gives the little smirk at the end, like, ha, nailed it, and she thinks the same thing.
She really thinks that this was like her Monet. Like, she thinks that this was like her big like piece de resistance.
Like, this is her Austin versus McMahon storyline. Like, she thinks everything is gonna be fucking gangbusters, Attitude Era, 1998 Raw versus Nitro. Like,
I feel so bad for her sometimes. Like,
I don't. Not anymore. Not anymore. Like, I really don't. At this point, she's doing it to herself. And all right. So anyway, was there anything else you guys want to touch on Impact before we rate this and move it along?
Not really.
they haven't taped anything further. I don't know what they're doing next week. Literally don't know what they're doing next week.
Well, next week we do have Spud versus EC3.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So next week is a tape show. That's already in the can. If Spud versus EC3 ends in a schmoz and that's the Bound for Glory main event, I'm okay with that. Please make that happen. I doubt it, but who knows?
Maybe they'll actually promote Bound for Glory to be an actual like big pay-per-view show and not just like a filler show for a Impact.
Yeah, who knows? All right, so Garza, where would you rate Impact this week?
Number 1.
Jesus Christ.
Hold on. Yeah. Impact is number 1. You're right. Number 1, right there. Number 1. Eamon, how about you? Where's Impact rate for you this week?
God. Bottom. It's really that main event soured me so badly. It was just so boring, and I hate to critique people. Like, Mike, I know you've said on multiple occasions, like, the problem with Impact is never the wrestling, but the wrestling in that match was just terrible.
Well,
from guys who are
people locked in, it's such a hard thing to pull off.
But it can be good. It can be good. Like, there are good wrestlers that are in that match, and it was just boring. It was the most boring thing. And then when they got to the actual weapon spot, it wasn't even that interesting.
Yeah, it was just like kendo sticks and maybe one trash can.
Yeah, the trash can spot, like, that was it.
And it didn't even look that good. All right. Impact for me is 5th this week. I saw an episode of The League that was better. I was at Stephen Colbert. That was way better. I'm pretty sure I caught some of C-SPAN, and that was better than Impact this week. So, yeah, it's going to be 5th for me. But Garza, where can the good people of the internet find you?
You can find me at DW Revolution at Twitter, so you can find me at thewrestlingrevolution.com. You can also go to the Facebook page of the Wrestling Mayhem Show, where I praise TNA every day because God bless Dixie Carter.
Oh, God damn you, Garza.
She came out with the Dixieland Titantron. I forgot to mention that. What? Why do you still have that Titantron?
Because they never made another graphic for her.
Yeah, why would you have another one?
Apart from her glamorous shot in her Twitter profile.
If the company's losing money, why would you spend money on another Dixie Titantron?
He's got a point. He's got a point. Eamon, where can the people of the internet find you and something way better than TNA, Inspire Pro Wrestling?
You can find us on Twitter at or you can find me on Twitter at Eamon2Please, and you can find Inspire Pro at Inspire Pro Res. You can also, hopefully, if you want to watch a much better wrestling show, from the way things are going, our Battle Wars 2 event should be coming to you very quickly. So keep an eye out for that. And that was a really fun one. So.
Excellent. And you can find me, of course, at MadMike4883 on the Twitter machines. I also do the Total Divas wrap-up with Jen Carlins, which will be coming your way by the end of this week. And, tune into the Wrestling Mayhem Show, live.sorgatronmedia.com. For all of this wrestling goodness, we have Eamon with the Indie Mayhem Show and the Wrestling Mayhem Show proper, where we talk about everything under the sun. So, for Antonio Garza, for Eamon Paton, I'm Mad Mike, and this has been your Midweek War!